lot of hate against foreigner drivers.
Why
Because
is
you want me to use questions? They're just a truck driver, a dumb truck driver.
Hey, but you got to remember, I'm in the industry. You're not.
all right? So welcome to the Truck Stop Show. My name is Ali. Today we're joined by Abraham, who has been trucking for about a decade now, but this whole trucking journey was not in Canada. So he has trucked in Africa before. So let's talk to Abraham about his journey in trucking. Abraham, thank you for being here.
Thank you too.
So tell us, how long have you been trucking, and how long have you been trucking in Canada?
I've been trucking for quite a while, for almost now 10 years. When I started, I think when I cleared my school and everything, took me several years before, because in Africa you go gradually. Do this, from this step you move from this, from that you move to this. I used to drive bus. There's a time I used to drive a big bus for passengers. Time I used to drive these small trucks
How long have you trucked in Canada?
for 1 year now.
1 year?
Yep.
And do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it.
And what kind of hauling have you done so far?
The reefer, I've done reefers. Well, that is what I've been doing. But now I'm on flatbed.
That's a big transition.
Mm.
Flatbed is quite hard.
hmm It's not me. To me, I don't say it's hard. I don't think. To me, I won't say it's hard. I think it's physical, and I think it's good for my health too.
That's a very
hmm
wise thought, because I know a lot of
Yeah,
truck drivers don't think this way.
yeah. Because if you say it's too much for me, I mean, I need to work and I need the money. I need to. There are people who benefit from what I'm doing. So I need to do it. So I can't say it's too much work. There are things which I've seen here, if I compare back at home, which are totally different.
So which country were you born in?
From Kenya.
You're born in Kenya.
Yep.
So you truck in Kenya in the past?
Yep.
And then you did the transitions. It's actually going to be a fine show, because I can do the comparison
hmm
between African driving and Canadian driving,
Yep.
right? Well, we'll get to that later. So, okay. So you have truck here for almost a year now, and you said you have enjoyed it, and you've done reefer, and you've done flatbed so far.
hmm
Anything you wish to do in the near future, like any sort of special type of hauling?
Uh, I used to do fuels back at home.
Fuels,
Yeah, I used to
tankers.
clear tankers. I would also like to do that here too. I've done containers. That is what I used to do most when I was transiting to other countries. So when it comes to containers, I'm good. The only difference maybe I see here is the type of trailers we have. As we drive 40-foot trailers there. Here we drive more than that. And here you have 2 axles. Ours are 3 axles, 40 foot. So you get that on maybe 1 or 2 occasions, you'll get a 4 axle, but mostly that is categorized like an heavy load.
Is so. Let's get into comparison now here.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy trucking in Africa more than here, or you enjoy it here more?
I enjoy here more because of the roads.
The roads.
The roads are much good. And one thing I love about Canada is you have very many roads to exit and enter from.
The infrastructure.
Yes. So infrastructure is so nice. I love that.
You know, some people are going to disagree with you, right?
No, I know they will say that, but to me, I'm telling you, because you drive, you come to Africa, you drive on a one-way traffic. Like if you drive from Mombasa to Nairobi, that's a 500 kilometers way, which is a two-way traffic. So you can imagine you're just passing somebody with a truck, cars, everybody using the same road. It's not like here you find 4-5 lanes. You can decide to stick on your outer lane or inner lane. Just drive comfortably the way you want. You see. So one thing I've seen, the good thing about here is that the roads are very good. To me, I don't know. Maybe Canadians would say they are bad, but me they are nice. I love them.
And what about the culture?
The culture also, I love Canadian people. They are nice. If you allow me to say this, I would like to thank also the government of Canadian government. Is good. They've treated me well. I came here as an immigrant, and so far everything has been working good for me, and I thank God for that.
How long have you been in Canada so far?
So I came here 2 years ago. Yeah. So this is my third year now studying.
And you already drove 1 year in Canada.
Yes.
So, a lot of people would criticize, be like, you
Mhm.
just moved here 2 years ago and you're already trucking. It's not safe.
It's not about of safe. I think what I did is I followed all the right procedures to get the license. When I came here, I got my G license first. That is what I did. Because I've been driving for people used to tell me, because one thing back at home we are driving, as we drive right hand and we keep left. But in Canada we drive left hand and we keep right. So many of my colleagues used to tell me, "Oh, how come you know how to drive, and you didn't find any challenge that now you're driving left, you won't forget?" I told them, "No, this is just logic. You just know it's a car. The only difference is you're in a different side. You're now on left. If you want to go to right, it's on your right. You know your hand. I used to do my hand like this so that I remember which is my right. I've been told go left. You see, until I got used to it.
Yeah.
So I didn't find it as a big challenge. And since I've been doing, and when you do big trucks, when you go to big companies, when I used to work in fuels companies, I used to work in another, especially when you go to fuel companies, the safety is a bit higher. You're trained about the safety and everything.
Because the product handling can be
Yes,
very,
very risky, you know.
yes.
So that also taught me good things. So when I came here, I didn't find it very difficult to follow the rules. In
You
fact,
did not.
I
So
did
are
not.
the rules in Africa and
Mm.
here similar?
No, they're not similar. And I think they should take these rules here back home.
So
Mhm.
well, I'm sure there's rules there, but is there
Yes, there are rules there,
but nobody
but you
follows
know
them?
now you don't you follow, but if a cop gets you, you know what you're gonna do. He's gonna get something from you. You're gone.
Like bribe or something? And like he's not gonna bother you?
Yeah. He's the one who'll determine how much he wants. He'll tell you, okay, I need $1,000.
Have you tried that here?
And you, I can never. You want me to be taken home? Never, never. That's why I'm saying is, what I found out is it's good. People think corruption is bad. I think that thing has really killed Africa. And I think if that was finished, I think Africa would be the best place in the world. Because we've got the good weather, got the good infrastructure, we have food, everything is there. eh? The only thing I complain so much about Canada is the coldness, like now winter. But I'm used to it now. I'm getting used to it. It's been 2 years. The first time when I came, damn, I used to work with so many clothes. I put a hoodie, I put a t-shirt, I put a jacket on top and a winter jacket. And I work. I don't sweat. I was wondering, but it's the cold.
Because look at the temperatures we have.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's,
know, when I saw negative.
yeah.
So when I compare this and then I remember back at home, I remember there's a day I went to, there's a border in between Uganda and Sudan. It's called Nemli. You know how hot was it? It was 55 degrees.
55?
Degrees.
And people manage to live?
Yes.
That's
I
really
used to
hot.
drink in every 1 hour. I drink a 5-liter jerry can of water.
Wow.
In every hour I drink. When you're seated waiting for the clearance at the border, sometimes you take maybe a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Have you crossed into the US yet?
No.
Okay, well, that would be something. Like,
Hopefully, if everything goes well, I would love to cross that. But yeah, here it's much faster.
well, that's what you like to think.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's faster. Sometimes
Okay,
So-
when you say, like, you give me the answer. When you say faster, how long can you stay in the border here?
3 minutes and 3 hours.
So 3 hours is much? You think 3 hours is much?
Well, when they put you in staging areas,
Oh my God, you guys are not new. Let me tell you one thing. If you go to our border, there's a border called Malaba. That is when you cross to go to Uganda
from which country?
from Kenya now
Kenya to Uganda.
to Uganda. When you're in Malaba, when you find traffic, there is a time I remember. There's a company I used to work with. We used to carry coils, these steel coils. I remember I stayed there for 2 days. 2 days making a queue. A queue of how many kilometers, I'm telling you, to the border? 40 kilometers. So
40.
40. So you can tell me 40 kilometers from here, you're in a queue just to exit the border.
It took you 2 days.
2 days. Because one thing is so funny, let me tell you. Our customs, they work well. When you pass to the customs of Uganda, and if you're lucky enough, let's say it was on a weekday, you might cross earlier. But if it came on a weekend, and then these Ugandans love to watch football, if there's a big match that day, customs fails. Thing goes on.
Because nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
They go to watch what?
Football. Which is
So-
soccer.
Which is soccer.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Sit in your truck, you have your food, you cook, eat. When you see the queue moving, you move a bit.
So to those who complain about borders here,
Yes. So
to those who complain about
stop
infrastructure
complaining,
here,
man. I don't know. I don't know what you're. I would love one day God blesses me to cross to the US and maybe make a video of that to show them, oh, this is how you cross your borders. Oh, damn, you guys are lucky.
okay, let's
Mhm.
talk about the safety standards. So far in a year of your driving on Canadian land, you find it safe?
Yes. One thing I've come to know here about safety, and I think it's safety in everything, safety from the vehicle maintenance, safety from the owner of the truck doesn't want his truck to be bad because he knows if the truck is bad, he's gonna get fines and everything. So I think safety is good here. And I think if my brothers in Africa and if the government is watching this, maybe, I don't know, they should implement such things. It's very simple. Because here you drive a truck knowing that you're the driver, you're responsible. The owner cannot give you a truck with bad tires and tell you to go. That can never, because
Well,
you know,
some companies would try.
I would not do that.
You should not do that.
I
of
cannot
course.
do that.
Yeah, because
I've lost friends whom we used to work with due to such things. Who just went and got accidents. Who just went because of hurry. Now I always tell people, trucking, like these trucks, most of them they're very comfortable. They're nice trucks. You drive a new Peterbilt, you drive a new Mercedes-Benz Actros, you drive a Scania. They're very nice. Just take your time. But most people, you find others are in a hurry. You want to cut your time. You want to do things the wrong way. And this is where it gets them. And especially with our small roads now, the one way you try and do something, it doesn't work, you know? So safety here, I think, is one of the best. I think I've never even seen I only see a big accident with small cars hitting one. I'm not saying even trucks are there, but what I saw back home and here you'll never find small cars. Every now and then you see somebody has scratched somebody's cars. They are there now waiting for the police. Somebody has done this. No.
So you haven't seen in 1 year anything major, like no major accident you've seen?
No, I haven't seen on my
So
time.
that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they do happen here too because
It does. All I see is
Yeah.
maybe on the internet, somebody happened in Quebec, something like that, but I haven't seen.
anything big happen. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the way it should be. But
Yeah.
what is the difference between Africa and here? Like a lot of big accidents there. when you done-
So what I must say is this: the difference is when it comes to safety. Back at home, they don't emphasize that too much.
It's not taught.
It's taught, but it's not enforced. It's not enforced here like you have a truck, you have to make it mechanical sound. It has to have all brakes, everything has to work. And when you're pulled over on the MTO, he inspects the truck. Ours, when you go to a weighbridge like the MTO here, they don't do that. They only want to make sure the weight of the truck. So you're pulled over, they take your weight. That is what they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
So when they know people who are overweight, they know they will charge them, and some will even end up paying bribes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no day you see like here.
Nobody inspects trucks.
Yeah, nobody inspects trucks.
Nobody checks brakes, tires,
Nobody.
lights, any of that stuff.
No, and that aspect has
But
made.
no, the question here is,
Mhm.
so when that happens, Abraham, what does that lead to? What are the consequences here?
Because now, if you don't do that, one thing, your truck might break down every now and then,
Yep.
causing accidents. Because some trucks, I know I've gone to companies that like the way I was telling you, I lost a friend. A guy came in for the workshop. He needed the brake linings for his rear trailer, and the truck was loaded. You know what the employer did? Employer told him, okay, let me put the brake shoe in your truck, drive your truck from here to, say, Oakville. There is one of our roadside mechanic. He will fix it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, yes, okay. He goes.
Probably like 100 miles or so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, where he's going, it's a steep.
Downhill.
It's a downhill. So when he reached the downhill,
No
the guy-
brakes.
no brakes. The guy ended up plunging into a cliff.
And he did he survive?
He stayed for a month in the hospital. He had a bill of over 1 million Kenya shillings, but later died. So what was the point for that? So I think the difference is here, the safety is good. I love it. When you say your truck, you cannot go with this, nobody will question you. Nobody will threaten you. Like at home, some you'll even be told, oh, you don't want to go. Bring the keys. Give us the keys. Let somebody else will go. You don't want to go, you stay. You see? Those are the different. So I think the structures here for safety is good.
So is there anything that has bothered you so far? I know. So had you driven in snow before?
Yeah.
So you had
Yeah, I
before
have.
coming here.
No, before coming here, no. But here now, I've driven in snow.
Yeah, like before you came here, so you had not driven in snow.
No.
So
no.
driving in snow takes a lot of practice and
Yeah,
art.
it
It's
takes a
it's
lot
an
of-
art, right?
Yes.
You got to understand one, what kind of snow it is, or what
Yes.
kind of condition it is,
Yes.
and then drive accordingly.
Yeah.
And then you got to be smart enough to make a decision when is the time to stop,
Yep.
right? So have you encountered anything bad on the road in terms of storms and stuff?
Yeah. There's a time I was living when I used to do the local routes. I was coming from Toronto back to Burlington. There was so heavy snow. And these guys were not clearing anything on the road. So, yes, there were trucks. I was doing, I remember, 50 Ks per hour because I had to reduce my speed completely. Because everybody was on the road. Nobody was driving fast. So then the snow, it just caught me. When I didn't know the snow was on the road. And when I started the journey coming back is when I saw, hey, the snow is too much. What's happening? And it kept on getting heavy on the road. So I just had to call my dispatcher and told, hey, there's too much snow here. I'm coming on the way, but I'm really slow. I cannot rush. So bear with me until I reach. Once I reach the yard, I'll give you a call. So I came like that slowly until I reached. But snow is so risky. And when I started going to Montreal and Quebec, I'm doing maybe 90 and somebody passes you. And you wonder, damn, is that truck empty or it's loaded? And you imagine if something happens, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's my thing too. Like if I
Yeah,
see
so
somebody speeding in
normally,
the snow,
me, when it's snow, I would rather reduce my speed, stick to the right, just take my speed, which I'm comfortable with, put my flashers on. If I see this snow is not going to finish and maybe the distance is too far, I'll just go to the next stop
Mhm.
where the safest stop
Mhm.
where I'll sleep until tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yep.
So Abraham, there's a big criticism on newcomers.
Yep.
You know that? Are you aware of this? You probably see
Maybe
this on
I've
the social
heard.
media.
I've
No, but
heard.
here's the thing. This is
Mhm.
your time.
Mhm.
Tell people in
Mhm.
Canada
Mhm.
that newcomers can be good drivers.
Yep. Definitely, me, I believe so, and I believe that we can be good drivers. I've driven for, let's say, this is my 1 year in Canada, and maybe the other years back in Africa. I mean, I've never involved myself in any major accident or anything that risks somebody's life or crash somebody's car. No. I always try and do like this thing we do here, the pre-trip and everything. It's very nice. You do it, take your time, nobody hurries you. When you get a new company, they tell you, don't hurry, take your time, you feel tired, you sleep. So I don't think it's a, it's a really big difference. But the difference is maybe the safety and everything.
So why is there criticism?
Maybe the criticism, maybe they think people do take shortcuts,
Like what?
like doing this thing, school thing wrongly, not doing it correctly. Like me, I did it correctly. I followed the rules. I came, I did my G. After that, I went, I came and did my AZ, followed the rules and everything, getting taught until I finished the last process. So I think I don't know why people should. If why should you criticize me if I followed your rules?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think more than anything, Abraham, I think is the safe mindset. If so, and I can tell that you do have a safe mindset.
Yep.
And the safe mindset is that I gotta watch what I do because
Yep.
it can be very devastating, right? It can
Yep.
be very horrifying, right?
Yep.
So that is the mindset. If you have that mindset, you're gonna not gonna do anything stupid on the road, right? So you'll be careful. So and I do feel that you do have, but there's still, I mean, a lot of people are not welcoming the idea of getting people from, from other countries and having them be able to drive here, even though Canada is a nation of immigrants, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so let's talk about health. How do you manage to stay in shape?
Wow. Me normally it depends. I don't like a lot of junk. So like when I used to do my trip to Quebec, I used to cook my own food at home,
Hmm.
pack it up in small plastic jars, carry everything that I know this. If I'm going for 2 or 3 days, I know this food will be enough for me for the 2 or 3 days. Put it in my fridge in my truck. The only thing I used to buy maybe it's the cold tea in the morning. That's the only thing I used to buy. But if it is something like my breakfast, I like taking a pumpkin, boil the pumpkin, take it with my tea. That's it.
Hmm.
Yep.
So have you been have you have any close calls yet on the while driving here? Close calls, like any?
No, I've never had any close calls. Normally, I try my level best to be safe at all times because, I mean, I usually put myself in an example. I don't know if you've ever tried to rescue somebody from a wreck.
No.
You know, I have several. I've seen somebody crash in a truck. He's stuck. The truck is starting on fire. We are trying our best. We put chains. Yeah, back in Africa, we don't have these emergency services as fast as you guys have here, whereby if an accident, maybe 10, 20 minutes, or maybe 25 minutes, a truck, a chopper will come. We don't have all that. So you're the first responders there. So you're trying to rescue somebody, and then that somebody dies in front of you. It's so traumatic. You've tried, the fire comes, everybody has a fire extinguisher. You've tried to put on the fire, it doesn't go off. Hmm? You use
You,
your extinguisher, it finishes.
you've been in a situation like this?
Yeah. Hmm?
back in Africa, right?
back in Africa. I've saved a guy. There's a guy I met one day. His truck was on fire, and it was loaded with goods. And when I saw it, I imagined this owner of this truck. If this truck get burns, these people will steal all his goods. He will be liable to pay. So I just stopped, put my truck on a safe place, came out with my fire extinguisher, told the guy, open the cabin, immediately open. You just pull the cabin. I sprayed it down with the fire extinguisher, and the truck was saved. And the community was so mad at me because all they wanted was to
Take
get
your stuff.
get the stuff what was behind the truck. Because normally when the head is burning, before it reaches the trailer, they would have broken the trailer and start stealing whatever they wanted to get. So it's a very, very. I've lost a couple of friends of mine. I've seen an accident where, you know, back at home we have vans. Some vans they carry people, and I've seen a van which was crashed, and it used to carry 18 people, and all of them were dead. Yeah, you can imagine if you see you just find somebody and you know this guy was my buddy. He's been cut half. He was half. He had only one leg, and this other part, the other side, I don't know where it has gone. I mean, it's so traumatic. So when I drive, I usually put myself. I'm driving a 30-ton truck. I'm doing 100 kilometers per hour. So if I'm carrying 30,000 tons and I'm doing 100 kilometers, that is how many, what is the tonnage on that?
Not
That's
the best way.
100,000.
Right.
So if I crash, so
That's
what will
good.
I be? I crash. By the time it's things are, when you get, I think, when you survive such things, it's miracles. So I usually drive putting myself in that aspect. If anything happens, and especially like back at home, our weather is hot, so you get more tire bursts,
Mm-hmm.
not like here. Yes, the tires are good, but it can burst out of manufacturer's faulty.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're doing that in 90 kilometers and you're carrying a lot of 30, 40 tons. Well, how will you stop?
Well, I want to take a moment here
Mm-hmm.
to thank all the people that enforce safety on our roads. I want to thank the people that contribute to safety. I want to thank the companies that train their drivers for developing a safe behavior. And I also want to thank the schools that do a tremendous job to train these drivers in a safe manner. And safety, sometimes we just take it for granted, but it is something that can do, like, the safety culture is what saves lives. I mean, I'm not saying everything is the best around here. A lot of things needs to be done and improved, but at the same time, we should be thankful for the culture that we have here in Canada, and the truck drivers out there that do a phenomenal job, and keeping everybody safe on the road. That was my saying after listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Things can go extremely badly if they're not dealt with
Yep.
in time and in safe manner, right?
Yeah.
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 So, Abraham, if when you look at social media,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of racism.
Yeah.
A lot of racism, especially in trucking. Everybody hates everybody, and people tend to be in groups and stuff, right? What do you have to say about that?
Luckily, me, I've never encountered that. Don't know. Maybe it's my good luck, or I don't know, because I believe if you have a good heart and you treat people with respect, treat people with dignity, learn to know, like us back at home, we Africans, we are taught when you see, like me, if I see somebody is elderly to be like my father, there's no way I can disrespect that person. I can never do that. It is that I think that is the African culture. I see this guy is the age of my father. Why should I not open for him the door, or why should I not greet him with respect? How are you, sir? How are you doing? But here I find people don't. I've seen that culture maybe one or two things. Maybe people from here, I don't know. I'm not condemning you in any way, but they don't value that. That is none of their business. Whether you're old or young, kids don't give. That's not their business. But us, how we are brought up, This is like my mother. She looks just, she's the age of my mom. I must respect that person. Even if she insults me, I cannot insult her back. I'll just go. That is how most African countries people are. We are brought up like that. Me being maybe the big brother, I cannot, if I send my younger brother, he has to go and I'm sending him. He will follow what I've told him. He will not he's not allowed to disrespect me. If my dad tells me you need to go tomorrow, I cannot wake up and tell him, Dad, I'm not going. Forget it, send somebody else. You only allowed to discuss with him, okay, Dad, can we do it this way? Or maybe we try. You negotiate with him how you're going to do it.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And are you not bothered by the car drivers on the road? Because there's car drivers, majority of them on the phone. A lot of people just,
Yeah,
they have
many.
no sense of, how to be around a truck. But first of all, you should never be around a truck. You
Yep.
should try to get away.
hmm
But are you not bothered by that?
It bothers me sometimes. Sometimes somebody cuts you off. But one thing I came to learn, and I learned that back at home. You see somebody coming, getting in front of you, hitting on the brakes. Just always be alert. Use your side mirrors. Just check. How is this guy behaving? Look. If he comes, enters you, shows you the finger. I don't like because if I get raged up, I start following him, crush him, or try to push him out of the road. What will I gain? There's no prize on that. So normally, if I see somebody just cuts me and just remove my leg from the pedal, slow down my truck, give him a distance. And always, if you come and find me when I'm driving, when I'm maybe going far, like especially now during the snow or during the summertime, I keep a very big gap. And I always tell people when you drive, don't drive these cars which are here in front of you.
Mhm.
Drive a car which you see. Look at the brakes of that person, third or fourth car from this person here. What is he doing?
Right.
Because when he'll apply brakes, you'll see.
Yep. The decision making.
Yeah,
right?
you'll see
Yeah.
him braking, so you'll know even these ones will apply brakes. So you prepare
Yeah,
yourself.
you're thinking ahead.
You're thinking ahead. So
Yeah.
you already, you know, no, these guys are going to slow down. So what are you gonna do?
hmm
You're not gonna just continue going until you see this one braking, and then now you brake behind
Yeah.
him. Then you crush him.
Ibrahim, why?
Mm.
So why did you get in? Like, why did you decide to get into trucking when you came here? Is because you already had driven trucks in Africa. So my question to you is, there's a lot of newcomers that come to Canada and get straight into trucking. Do you know why? Like, let's say, do you want to talk to people who are planning to migrate to Canada, why they should or should not get into trucking?
To me, I think I did. I would say I love trucking because I did it because it was something which was in me. And most of the things about the trucks, I knew. So I knew, I went to places, I do a reverse. Somebody asked me, how do you know that? "Oh, I used to drive trucks." Like my first job here, which I think my first or second, my first job was in a small company, but I got my second job, I got a pickup truck and it had a trailer. So when the owner was taking me for the orientation, thought this guy won't be able to do the reverse. But I did it. And he asked me, how do you know that? I told him, no, I've been driving trucks. So to me, it's easy. It's not something hard. Yeah. So I think it's
So trucking is not easy, that's for sure, right?
not easy.
It's not an easy
It's not
job. It's not
easy.
for everybody.
It's very
but
hard.
but still,
Mhm.
newcomers when they
Mhm.
come to Canada,
Mhm.
a good majority of them choose to get into trucking. I guess for money.
Yeah.
People think it's a
They choose to get for money, knowing that because maybe they'll make good money, but they don't want to because now you've not been able to go through trucks. Know that this thing works like that. This truck works like this. This truck when doesn't have pressure, we have no brakes. This truck when the brake shoe is done, we have no brakes. You know,
Mhm.
things like that. He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He doesn't like me now. If I drive a truck and maybe I have an emergency stop and I happen to apply the brakes immediately, I'm able to tell you if this truck, the brakes from the head, they are the ones holding more brakes than the trailer. So I will know my trailer brakes needs adjustment.
Right.
You see? Because you'll feel more weight being pushed to you. But when the brakes is good, when you apply the brake, you'll feel the truck. And when it's heavy, it will stop immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it holding the ground.
Well,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
What kind of trucks do you guys drive in Africa?
We drive overhead cabs. That is Scania. We drive Mercedes-Benz. We have Volvo. We have DAF.
All European stuff.
All European trucks.
And then can you do a comparison between European stuff and American stuff, like Kenworth and Pete's?
The only big difference I find here, because you guys drive a very long wheelbase. The wheelbase is too long. I don't know why you guys like the long wheelbase. Our wheelbase are much shorter, so making turns and making tight corners, it's very easy. It's not like the ones here. So if you happen to get in a tight place, it's gonna be hell of work.
Well, there's a lot of land here. So
Yeah. So then okay.
the bigger roads,
Yeah, bigger roads. Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they build trucks for. I think I would say maybe they build trucks for the driver to be more comfortable.
Correct. Well, that's
Yeah.
one reason too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it comes to comfortability,
Yeah.
yes. Here, drivers, you sleep, the bed is big, you can put a TV. You can even put a TV in a European truck, but yes, here you have a very nice fridge, you put your food. Even ours do have fridge, but not as big as the ones we have here. But I find here the only thing which is good is the roads. Yes, the trucks are good. I don't know if they would introduce the European trucks here. I think they would also work good. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you missed
Yeah.
European trucks. Yeah, Rahim, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Yep.
And thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys next Sunday. Take care till then.
Thank you so much too, Mr. Ali. And this was a good show. Hope you're gonna see many people. And lastly, allow me to thank my Canadian government for taking good care of me. Everything has been well and wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rahim.
And every citizen on this country.
I enjoy this gratitude.
Yes, they
Thank you.
welcome me with both hands, and I'm really, really, really grateful. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Okay.